Hi, everyone. It's Shirley Farrar, and this is Encouragement on Fire. And you have just entered podcast number 52. We're celebrating today. And as you see to my left, I have Pastor Darrell with me today to celebrate this wonderful 52 podcast. I didn't think I would actually get here. I had faith in God that I could make it to 52. And then, I'm still going to add additional podcasts. I'm hopeful that it will be weekly. If not, then I'm still going to come in front of you just to communicate with you and to let you know about the goodness of God and all that He's doing with me. So encourage me to continue to talk about, chronic diseases, to talk about good foods and different things throughout the year, and incorporate wonderful people in their interviews. This year, we were able to interview 6 individuals out of 52, 6 individuals. Isn't that wonderful? And hopefully we can increase that as we move forward. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Encourage Minute, and hopefully we can add that throughout the year a little bit more. But we're going to talk about some of the different testimonies that were throughout the year. Encourage Minute. Okay, so, Pastor Darrell, we had victories all throughout the year for our family. And, we were able to share other individual stories throughout the community. And some of those individuals, we just want to recap just a little bit, Let me see. Our first interview, I believe, was Miss Penny Britt. She was our first interview. And thank you, Miss Penny, for celebrating with us and to tell your story. And that was very inspiring. I was very thankful to the Britt family because they were very significant in coming over when this had first happened to us. And I say us because, of course, this was not just a only Shirley thing. This was a family thing. And my husband was impacted probably the most significant because we are one. And, with the Brits coming over, I know that was really, especially because they had gone through that process themselves. And they were very encouraging, insightful, and they brought wisdom with them about many things, dietary and other things, so.
And all the people that she interviewed and had contact with, there's a connection. More than just the, diagnosis of an ailment, but the connection of a family,
And God.
Yes, and see when you start to understand that people go through things and you can put yourself in their place, called empathy. They become family, and family isn't just blood.
No.
And some blood ain't your family. So they start to empathize, they understand, they put themselves in your shoes, and they show you the way they overcame. And your process may not be the same way as theirs, but you know that if God can do it for them, He can do it for you. So you're not exempt from coming out on the other side.
Exactly. So we thank you, Britt family. We thank you, Miss Penny, for all that you contributed to our experience. So God bless you. Before we go on to the other 5 people that I was able to interview, I want to give a shout out to all the people at my job. I want to tell you, thank you so much, because if it had not been for you, the donated hours that you gave me, I wouldn't have had an opportunity beyond my FMLA to be able to rest and recover. And so I say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. All those individuals that came and visited me, even though we were outside, you know who you are. I just want to say thank you. It meant everything to me, that you cared enough, just to say, Shirley, we're thinking about you. And, when you're in the middle of life and death situations, it does matter. So thank you so much. And then, like I said, we had other 5 individuals that I was able to interview. I think the next one was Minister Crystal Briscoe. Yeah. Talking to Crystal, she was so insightful because she had gone through cancer a couple of times. And she gave us her testimony. And, a lot of people don't know, right after she gave that testimony, she went through another situation and God quickly moved. She literally went through it like, so that was a blessing.
One of the things we learned about from her, it was about her attitude towards it.
Yes.
And how it boosted her mindset, and how she knew she was going to get through, and she wasn't down in the dumps. She wasn't singing the why me. She wasn't saying, oh Lord, not again. She said, okay, this too must pass.
Right.
Pass.
I think that's the difference of when whether it's cancer or anything in life, when it's the first time you're going through a situation, you don't know what to expect.
Right.
And so fear comes up. And that's why individuals in the faith, people encourage you and they tell you, I've been through this. God will bring you out. And that's why he tells us in his word that we should testify. That's the number one thing. You testify, you're a testament to other people and letting them know this, like you said, this too shall pass. You will come through this. And there's some advice, some good information that I can leave you, wisdom.
Right.
That we always say at the office, a couple little nuggets I can give you that could get you from point A to point B, all the way maybe down to point Z. So
there's an individual we haven't had the opportunity to interview yet. His name is Bishop Blake Mills.
Yes.
2-time cancer survivor, as well as going through his cancer treatments on dialysis. And
he's been a true encouragement
and inspiration
to us. Yes. Sending, texts at the right time. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. Sometimes just being down and you think you're down and out. And then here comes a little text. Yep. And you're like, woo! And everything you were thinking.
He puts in there. This is a man that should be saying, woe is me.
Yeah.
And he is the exact opposite. And he is he's a buoy for the faith of God. And he always encourages you. And I just want to give a shout out to him. We're going to have him on here.
Yes, we are.
We just got to do the right timing. But the man is an inspiration. If you ever get an opportunity to hear him, please come on. You're going to hear him. It's going to change your life.
Yeah. So Bishop Blake, thank you very much.
In anticipation.
for hearing from God and being obedient when he wakes you up in the middle of the night, pray for us and to give us intel straight from the Father. Yes. Trust me, it was from the Father, because you wouldn't have known what was in our minds.
Right.
And that's how we knew it definitely was from God. So thank you. And then after Penny and after Minister Crystal, I believe we had Dr. Fatisha Andrews.
Okay.
And she came on and she talked about the experience of her grandmother and, just some intel on that, and how, not necessarily does someone get cancer simply because, well, you smoke or you do this. Now, is that a factor? Of course it is, but it's not the only factor. Right. And she helped us to also think about writing down things that you go through every month, because when you see your doctor, you need to be able to have some information, not just, oh, no, I'm just feeling this way, doc. Right. Well, how long have you been feeling this way? Right. You need to have a timeline.
And also that everybody's treatment isn't going to be the same.
It's not. But how can we ask the doctor to diagnose us and we don't give them a list of information? We just say, fix it. It's just not that simple. So, so we thank you for coming on our show and to giving the testimony from your family and just being an inspiration, even throughout the time. If we have information we need, you're able to come on the show or, text us and help us with that valuable information. So thank you very much. Then we had, let me see. Oh, yeah, we had Reverend Brian Fox. Woohoo! Yeah. All right. I just met with his wife the other day, and we had a wonderful lunch. And, I had to mask up, but at the same time, it was wonderful. And, she's encouraging me as I'm continually going through this process, but just a lovely couple. And, he was inspirational, I think, to men, letting men know that it's okay for you to go to the doctor, no matter who you are, or no matter what position you hold, right? Because we already know he's Reverend Fox, but also he's a prophet. And we also know that he teaches, right? So he's an educator. And then on top of that, he also has his own technology company. So he's letting you know, no matter what your level as a man, you can go see the doctor, okay? And find out what's, going on so you can be here for your family.
And come out on the other side.
Come out on the other side healed. And his information was wonderful. If you ever get an opportunity and you didn't see his testimony, I had to break it up into 2 sessions because it was that long. It was very inspiring. So thank you so much. And then we had, let me see, Elder Caroline Waters. She works at a local university.
She just became elder.
She just became elder too in the church. And wonderful woman of God and family, a blessing. Caroline, thank you so much for coming out and giving your testimony. It inspired many women. People have been giving us feedback saying, wow, that was really inspirational what she said. And so sometimes when you don't think that your testimony continues to inspire people, it does. It continues to do that. And, some of the wonderful things that you said, I also wrote those things down for the future in case I encounter someone who went through your particular experience and I can give that information in that testimony. So thank you so much for just being inspirational. And I think we had our last person, more recent, and that was Miss Angela Stewart. And we know Miss Stewart's family for a long time. I didn't know Angela Stewart a long time. I think in the last decade I met her, but I knew her family for probably over two decades, maybe something like that.
Like 14
years, something like that. And just a wonderful family. And, Miss Stewart just talked about her experience as well as members of her family that went through cancer. And, it's something because right after her and I talked, I got a couple of conversations with individuals, and they were like, yeah, and they were mentioning things she said. That's how I knew they had listened to that interview. And I said, look at that. Look at that. And it's encouraging them to encourage other people, especially family. I think she mentioned about being okay with sharing it with your family. It's okay because your family loves you. And that inspired some other people to open up and want to talk to their family about some things that they literally, it wasn't cancer, but they were hiding from their family. So I think that's inspiring in itself, So those were the individuals that we interviewed. Is there anyone else that you can think of that, has been inspirational to us in all of this that we need to definitely give a shout out?
I want to give a shout out to Bishop John and Pastor Aisha
Yes,
Edmondson.
I was just getting ready to say that. Oh my goodness.
They have been behind closed doors, encouraging myself and Pastor Shirley.
Thank you, Bishop.
Yeah, they
thank you, Pastor Aisha.
came out and supported us when the night of hope and healing.
Yes.
Which was a great opportunity for people to come out and share their own testimonies and see how the Lord works in their lives. And there was many people there. Elder Ron came out and sang,
and also Reverend Kathleen.
Yes,
she was going through herself at the time
with her husband. Yes,
and she still came out, and their family.
Yep, and she sang.
And she sang so beautifully. My goodness, just impactful. Just oh my goodness, just wonderful. And I have to say this. That particular event, the night of hope and healing, we had it outside because of course I couldn't be around a lot of people, but I could go outside, and I could still not. Everyone else was away from me, and we sang, and people gave their testimonies,
and we
ate, and people were so encouraging, and they poured out their love. And guess what else they did? They showed up. I have to say, all of you who showed up, thank you. Now, I didn't tell everyone, but those that I did tell, thank you for showing up. It meant everything to me because you showed me the love of God in your hearts. And
it was a warm day.
Oh, it was a hot day out there, and there was no air conditioning, and it was priceless. And I had
Craig and Francine. They came
out,
and
their family came out, and Craig played the piano.
He came out of retirement for her.
Oh my goodness, he had not played the piano in years,
about 15 years.
And he said, "For you, I'm going to do it
this one time."
Thank you. And I know he's not going to play again, and that's okay. But thank you, family. Thank you so much for all that you did. We had, like I said, the Brits came out, Dr. Monroe and Tony Sr. came out. We just thank you all so much.
One of the things that we tend to forget, we take people for granted, and God uses the issues and things that happen in our life to show us who people really are. And those things that look like would be tragedies are the thing that knit us together. And it strengthens the bond between people. And your testimony is, remember when? Because we're both over that now. You know what I mean? Remember when I had? Because we don't have to deal with that anymore. And so, but the marker in time and in the memories of the people are there. And so that we all come into the same fellowship of understanding, wow, we can get this. We can get along when needed. We don't have any religion or anything that's separating us from the love of God. That's what it says. Not death, nor height, nor breath, nor, all that stuff. It doesn't separate us. And so when we come together and the commonality is that, okay, we got to share the love of God with one another. It's an awesome thing. It's priceless.
And I have to give a shout out to family and friends, because my family, you showed up to, and I want to say thank you to all of you. You didn't have to. My mom, she was there the entire time, like my husband was. And so I have to say, Elder Cynthia, there is no one like you. You are the best mom in the world. You're my mom, and I love you with all my heart. And I thank you for pulling me out of the darkness. So I have to say that. Thank you so much, and not letting me sit in what the enemy wanted me to sit in. Thank you so much for that. And my sister, being a support, both of my sisters, even though, one is far away, she was very supportive and calling me, and my other sisters around the corner being there. And my brother, he was, sharing his own story.
And we knew nothing about.
I knew nothing about that at first. And then he was able to share that intel with me of the battle of the mind. And thank you, Jesse. Thank you so much for that. The battle of the mind, that if I conquer it here, conquer it everywhere else. So that is so, wow, that was surreal. That was like, wow. And each individual in our church people. Oh my Lord, just those young ladies just pouring out your love upon me, sending me flowers. Didn't have to ask you.
Right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that you cared about me in my life, and that as your pastor, as one of your pastors, that Pastor Shirley, you mattered. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. I'm getting all emotional because it matters. You matter to me. And you guys, you always have and you always will. No matter if you are with us at the Meeting House Church or you're far away, no matter where you go, you can leave the state. Many of our people did. They end up moving to states. You're always going to be in our hearts. You're always going to be with us. And we're always going to pray for you because that is what God would have us to do. So we just want to say thank you.
Speaking of in other states, we even visited some friends.
Oh my goodness!
Down in Texas, in Houston.
Oh, let me go back to our other segment, Pastor Darrell. I'm sorry, we were still in encouragement. We getting back to our regular segment.
Oh well, it was all the same to me.
It's all the same.
We visited with some friends down in Houston, Texas, 4th of July week.
Yes.
And it was hot as blazes.
You talking about the Millers?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Dr. Miller and
husband
Charles Miller. Yes. And I think they allowed us to
invade their home.
Yes, we used his office. He gave us his office. Said, "Go on, do what you need to do." And he had that particular day.
He invited all his friends and
to meet us.
And we were like, "Oh, you just having a barbecue?"
Wonderful. I had the mask on. I was like, in the beginning, you know how it is.
Right.
Just oh my goodness.
He had his cousin who was a chef come in and cook a meal just for us. Yeah. And we were like,
just wonderful.
We was like, okay, well, you having these people over? He said, no, we did this for you guys.
Yeah.
Mainly for her. But
saying that we mattered. And I appreciate that. And this is the thing. We were there and they let us rest. Yeah. Because he knew that I needed to rest because I was weak. And he said, just rest. This is what our ministry is. You rest. We watch over you. You rest. And we'll take care of everything. And they did. They took care of everything. And it was like the coming out of, all the things that we had been dealing with. And we needed to move out of the mindset.
Well, it was a release.
House,
it was a release of it.
And all we saw at the house, it was a lot going on, and all the memories. But, in this process, God was really faithful. He was so good in this process because not only did he bring me through recovery, but he allowed us to do some things in our home that we hadn't been able to do for a long time. And I don't know if anyone out there, you've gone through being sick and you see the four walls. That's what you see every single day. You can tell what was on the corner of the wall because you sat there. And I sat there that long. I could tell how many cracks was in that one little space, or if the chip of the paint was chipped. I could see all of that information. And I'm sitting there saying, day after day after day. But the Lord was good. He, during this season, allowed us to move my mom in.
Yep, we remodeled
the
the house.
Yeah, we remodeled the garage. We turned the garage into an in-law suite.
Yep.
And my mom is with us, and she is good. Like my mom is the most vibrant person in the world. So she honestly could live by herself. However, she is living with us, and it's wonderful. We have prayer together, fellowship together.
And when she get tired of it, she go.
Yeah, when she get tired of it, she just go back and lock the door.
It's all good
because she has everything. She has all of the
full
everything.
Place
she doesn't need anything from us. So I mean, it's just wonderful.
But it is good because it allowed us to do. But you don't know. God says that He sees things from the end, right?
Yeah. The
finished product, and we're just traveling along, unfurling this revelation He's given us. And so we didn't know what all was needed.
No.
And so we redid, the garage to in-law suite. We new
The siding,
siding, roof,
new kitchen
kitchen,
and dining
and
room.
yes,
Like
and
he really, God did that. We are not taking any credit.
But the thing,
Any credit.
but the thing that keeps coming back to mind is
Yeah.
that, like you said, sometimes we gather together in places where people like to congregate. And I'm going to say this, they say birds of a feather flock together. And so we all find ourselves in caves of Adullam somewhere and sometimes in life. And I know I'm shaking the table.
No,
sometimes, at some point we got to come out of the cave. And that's where 2 Corinthians 5:17 kicks in. He said, behold, old things are what? Passed away, and behold, all things are become new. And so if you look at us and say, oh, y'all trying to be new. Yeah, we are. We are new. Because that's what the Bible commands that we are.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is that people in general, we tend to think about the past and how bad it was. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that. Well, you know what? That mindset is not here. It's gone.
It's gone.
All that did was serve as a vehicle for the testimony.
Yes.
That's what you use it for. You don't concentrate on the past and the past and the last, as I call it. But you concentrate on you becoming new, which means if I'm a new creature, then everything going forward's got to be new.
Yeah.
Everything, my attitude, the way I eat, the way I drink, the way I laugh, the way I congregate, the way I talk to people, the place in which I live, it's got to be new.
That is so true. And coming out of all of this, I have a new mindset.
We're well over that 30 minutes.
That's okay. That's okay. I have a new mindset. The ministry that I thought I had, under the meeting house, the ministry I thought I had, the Lord truly revamped it and has a new ministry. And we're moving more into the community. And one of the platforms is, of course, the Encouragement on Fire, helping individuals.
Don't share too much.
In the community. So I'm like, pull back. But I'm excited because there is no rush. We are, how at points in your life, you're like, oh, I gotta go. No, we're not in a rush. We are waiting on God as we continue to move forward and have the love of God in our hearts, talking with people and not, I remember times when we were like so busy, gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta do this, gotta do that. And now we find ourselves when that starts to happen, we like,
nope, something wrong.
No, that's not what God called us to. He called us to rest. He called us to walk in Him. He called us to live by faith and not by sight.
He says that, He called us to rest. It's in Genesis and it's also in Hebrews. He says, this is the rest that I called you to. And people, the world, systems, the cosmos, the church would say to you, oh no, you got to hurry up. You got to move on. You got to do this. I'm like, well, God rested. God rested. He did all His work, it says, and it was good. And He rested. And God is calling us to imitate what He does, right? We do our work and you rest.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yep.
There ain't no sin in resting.
And you're going to do work. It's just who we are.
Yeah.
You're going to work in the kingdom. You're going to work in your day-to-day jobs. You're going to do all kinds of things unto the Lord, hopefully. But
anything else is in vain.
Yeah, come on, 1 Corinthians 13. We've been talking about that in relationships, but that's on Wednesday. I mean, Wednesdays and on Sundays. So stay tuned to that, right?
Yeah, y'all got to see what Pastor Shirley's been doing to me now on this Wednesdays coming up.
Oh my goodness.
She's been taking it over.
No, that's not true. That was one Wednesday, everybody.
One Wednesday. We got a bunch of questions, and we only did one question.
Well, you know me. I like to slow it down.
She's loquacious, as they say.
I like to slow it down.
LOQUACIOUS. Look it up, and you'll understand.
But I want to recap a few things before we get off with you today. But I think our podcast number 1 through number 17,
Mhm.
we were kind of trying to figure it out with the sound and all those different things.
And it still ain't perfect.
And it's still not perfect.
But it's a constant evolution.
Right.
It's going to get better and better
Right.
and better and better.
And we started out, and our backdrop was red. I love that red backdrop that I had. But after a while, it was like, okay, I gotta come out of that.
It's okay. You can go back to it a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
It's all right.
And then
it cost me some money. You can go back to it too sometimes.
Then we ended up, we visited some friends' houses, did a couple of sessions that way. Then we ended up on the other side of the kitchen, had a little backdrop of the kitchen area. And that was good, sitting around the island with Elder Cynthia and you, and just talking. Some of our topics, eating, we did do eating disorders, the healthy gut. We talked about turmeric, right? We talked about some of these other herbs, olive oil in your day-to-day, regimen.
Yeah, now they're trying to put olive oil in coffee.
Well, yeah, we talked about olive oil should be actually the olive oil and a little lemon. Remember, we talked about that, taking a teaspoon and doing those different things. So it's a lot. It's a lot. And we're going to keep talking about it. So we may do a little repetition. I'm just being honest. It may come up again.
Well,
guess what?
There's an adage to it as it goes on. More. It's like the revelation of God. The more you read, and the more you start to understand, the more you get out of it.
Absolutely. And then we ended up from, I think, 28 to 52 here with this particular backdrop. And this has been pleasant. This is in my dining area. We hope to have an actual, like what you have, a backdrop for the actual podcast itself as we're moving forward.
Well, Minister Charles says, I can't believe your backdrop. That's the parents of Pastor Shirley. Man, brother, I got to help you out. He's right. I got the clunky old one, and she. We'll leave that alone. Charles, you understand what I'm saying? It's all right.
Oh my goodness, you guys are funny. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so we talked about a lot of different segments. And then 2 of the segments I did some singing.
Yep.
And that was number 32 and number 44. And I was really encouraged about that because, and I kept pushing you. I said, babe, I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do this. One, you had songs of me singing.
Already recorded.
So we could utilize that. And then the other one, I just said, God is telling me I have to sing because someone needs to hear it. I just started singing and literally put it together and I aired it. Sometimes it's going to be like that for the podcast. But at the same time, I know that as we're moving forward, we're going to do some professional singing because we have the equipment to be able to do it. And
she put me to work, y'all.
Yeah, we got to do God's.
I'm still waiting to get paid. She still hasn't paid me yet.
Well, Pastor Darrell ended up coming on, not including this one, about 7 of the different podcasts. Because
she ain't paid me.
And so I want to say thank you, Pastor Darrell, for coming on those podcasts.
We're gonna join the SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, because I want my money.
But as we're moving forward, we'll add different things that people have been sending in emails, and you've been messaging me online, talking to me about different things you'd like to hear about in this next season. So hopefully we're God willing, we're going to get an opportunity to talk about it and to share that information with you.
Also, and I'm getting ready to say this, she don't even know I'm getting ready to say it, so she's gonna nod yes. I hope she would. We would get some people that we know that are how can I say this, they're deep in the faith, that will bring about and share with us and with you guys the spiritual healing. So I mean, for me, number 1 is Pastor Kathleen. Very in tune, willing to share what God is saying, and how if we get our spiritual man right, then the physical man falls into place. So that's just my thought. She this is her thing really, but I'm just
Reverend Kathleen, she was calling me all the time, just checking on me, seeing how I was doing. Like I said, a few people were, And I really appreciate that. Sometimes when you're going through, you really don't know, wow,
Mm-hmm.
you know, do I
Mm-hmm.
matter?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes you're thinking, you know, those little thoughts that come up, oh, are you
Maybe
going
I
to be,
don't.
you know, are you
Mm-hmm.
going to be here, first of all?
Mm-hmm.
And do I matter to people? And so when individuals pour out their love, it's nothing quite like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing quite like it. And I just so overjoyed, overwhelmed, thankful.
And that's what I was saying. You know, I know the word matter is overused now. It's hackneyed, as it would say, in the last 3 years. But that just means that people validate and value you,
Mm-hmm.
and that can do a world of good to a person who's
Mm-hmm.
down and out,
Yeah.
who's not feeling well, doesn't know how things are going to change.
Mm-hmm.
But because you value them,
Yeah.
you bring hope into a situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so, through my wife's podcast here, hopefully she's bringing value to your lives,
Mm-hmm.
and letting you know that you do matter.
Yeah. And before I get off, I really want to say again, even though I've said it throughout all of the podcasts to my children, thank you. You've, you know, you're good sons. You're good sons, each and every one of you. And you, you're different. All three of you are so
Mm-hmm.
different.
Mm-hmm.
And you give your dad and I the difference of who you are. And we are so thankful in who you have become. And when I found out about all of this and I shared it with you, you already knew something was wrong. And when I shared it with you, you were positive.
Yeah.
You were, Mom, we're coming through this. All three of you. You were not negative at all. And that is what we taught you to be. And it doesn't mean that, we all didn't shed a tear, but it was, we're coming out on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for that. Is there anyone else, that we forgot?
No. So I don't know if they'll ever see this, but we want to publicly thank Dr. Greenberg and the staff at Penn.
Yes. Woohoo!
Awesome job.
Yes.
Even when we didn't like the information that they were
All
giving
right
us.
Now. Sometimes it was like,
and, but we stand on the word.
But you allowed us to be who we are in the faith,
mm-hmm.
and that, we believe God. Yep. And you were like,
mm-hmm.
And also the UPenn in Philly.
Yeah.
So Cherry Hill
awesome.
And the ones in Philly.
Yeah.
My goodness. Oh my, wonderful, wonderful mm-hmm. people. And every time they sent me a survey, all I had was good things to say mm-hmm. about them. So thank you so much. And I will continue to tell people about UPenn. And we are probably going to, when the donations continue to come,
partner with them.
We're going to somehow donate on behalf of one of your organizations mm-hmm. or your foundations, because it matters. And all that you do is just wonderful, and God bless you. Mm-hmm. So I think that is it, right? One more person. What'd you say? Your pet? Okay. I have to say
the same thing.
Also, I forgot. I'm so sorry to mm-hmm. my daddy. Daddy, when you, because I know you didn't know right away, and then he was like, "Something wrong, baby girl." And then as soon as you found out, you were like, "Okay, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna come out of this." So I just want to say thank you to you as well. Okay. And I think that is it. Okay, so we are going to end our number 52.
See the balloons in the back? I don't know if you can see.
Podcast. We are celebrating. We have some brownies.
Yes.
Now, we don't usually eat like this, but we're going to eat some brownies today because it's number 52 of the podcast. And we just want to say thank you to everyone who's been watching. And we hope that you continue to watch in the future, because we are going to expand in a way that you may not have thought we would. Okay. So this is Encouragement on Fire, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.